Welcome in, basketball fans. It's another episode of Chuckin Buckets where we talk about Gamecock women's basketball, man. It's your boy, Coach I. We got the original Chuckin Bucket host over there. It's KB. What's going on, KB?
Man, what's good? What's good, man? How you doing?
Hey, man, doing good, man. Had some good girls basketball this week, man. We're going to talk about it a little bit, man. We got this amazing matchup coming up. You know, these stalwarts in the ladies SEC world, you know what I'm saying? Tennessee and South Carolina. So we're going to jump into it, man. But if you're new here, Chuckin Buckets, we talk about South Carolina Lady Gamecock basketball. And on the channel, it's a part of the Fanatic Sports Network. You can check us out on Sundays talking in the paint SEC basketball, where we talk all basketball at 7 o'clock live Eastern, 7 o'clock Eastern live, talking about all basketball. Let's go ahead and spin that intro. Chuckin Buckets. You know how we get down, man. Just to let you know, today's episode brought to you by Swipe Fast. That's swipe with a Y. Swipe Fast. If you're looking for a way to keep majority of that hard-earned profit, you know what I'm saying, and still continue to grow your business, check out Swipe Fast. It's a merchant services company that's got over 26 years of combined experience helping businesses of all sizes, man, with debit card, credit card processing, things of that ways, you know, in the most efficient and cost-saving ways, man. So whether you're a restaurant, retail store, e-commerce, or you process business-to-business payments, Swipe Fast has a solution to fit all the needs, man. You can visit them at swipefast.com. That's swipe with a Y, fast.com. Or you can just call them at 1-800-597-0713. No strings attached, and get you a cost analysis. Don't forget about ask about that revolutionary pricing cash discount too, man. It's saved business owners up to 99% of the current processing fees. Let them know Chuckin Bucket sent you, man. Now back to the regular scheduled program. All right, man. We back in here, man, to talk some more Lady Gamecock basketball. KB, the Lady Gamecocks just came off of an exciting game against the LSU Tigers. Always exciting, but the Gamecocks always come out on top, and they came out on top again today.
They did, man. That Friday night game, it was I think everybody got their money's worth, man. Whether you was at home with your popcorn just getting off of work because of the schedule change, or if you took that ride down to Columbia, man, it was another classic. I mean, we hinted to it on the last pod, but I think it's just a classic matchup of two great head coaches, man, just having their teams prepared every time.
Right, man. Mulkey and Staley never disappoint from the coaching aspect, man. South Carolina did beat them 66-56 for LSU's first loss. Tennessee, who South Carolina takes on Monday, who we're going to preview today, they lost a close one to Texas, man, 80-76 last night. And another thrilling game, man. The SEC seems to be full of like men and women basketball hoopers. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they get the double this year in the Natty. You know what I'm saying? Women and men's basketball.
Man, I like it. I like it, man. Just to be competitive, kind of, not to be too top heavy, like a lot of these conferences are when it comes to women's basketball or even women's basketball in general, man. I love teams getting better. I think we're seeing some effects of transfer portal and things like that. Just being able to improve across the board, man. I love it.
Right. So yeah, man, we here to preview that South Carolina Tennessee matchup coming up Monday at 7 o'clock. It's in Knoxville. We'll talk a little bit about stats. Then we're gonna talk about how y'all know what we do, man. We talk about how we think SC can win and how we think Tennessee can win, and then we'll give our predictions. So Biddles, let's just jump into it, man. Talk a little stat preview, man. So these teams, again, you know, we talked about a little bit with South Carolina and LSU where a lot of the numbers were similar. Here, there's two numbers that stand out to me. Tennessee's averaging over 93 points a game. South Carolina's right at 82. But on the flip side, South Carolina's only averaging 9 turnovers, and Tennessee's a little bit over 14 turnovers. You know what I'm saying? So, but points, but rebounds and assists, kind of similar. Same thing with like we saw with LSU and South Carolina.
Definitely. I think you still see some similar teams here when you kind of look at turnovers and that points per game with Tennessee. A lot of their points come over their off their turnovers because they do come out on the full court press. You know what I'm saying? They're subbing in 4 or 5 girls at a time. Just got fresh bodies, just kind of, all over the place. You know what I'm saying? And just kind of creating kind of organized chaos, if you want to say it like that. And it works for them. You know what I'm saying? It works for them. Unfortunately, it hadn't worked for them. Maybe the last 3, 4 games. Possession here, possession there, man. But I like what I see on this Tennessee team, honestly.
Right, and the depth you talk about how they sub like 3, 4 girls at a time. We always talk about with South Carolina, that's normally, what I'm saying, South Carolina kind of just hit you in waves and waves and waves. I'm be honest, watching the game, between South Carolina and LSU, there was one point late in the third quarter where I was looking at the LSU girls, they kind of looked spit, you know what I'm saying? And South Carolina was just bringing in, doing them hockey change lineups, you know what I'm saying? And I think this could be something that allows Tennessee to play, to compete here because they can go. They play like you said, those 4 guards or a heavy guard rotation, I'll say, and that may allow them to stay in the game and possibly have a chance to win here. Some more stats, man. Tennessee, when they lose, they only losing by 2 or average of 2 points, man. That's got to be tough mentally. I mean, you play some college b-ball, man. That talk about that, man, from a player perspective to lose close games like that. Because as a fan, I'm always like, I'd rather just get blowed out because at least I know the loss coming. Like I hate
Right,
losing right
right.
at the buzzer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. And games like that, man, when you get that first game and you be like, okay, I lost by one point or even one possession, or even 2 possessions, if we count them free throws like that, you like, okay, we got a chance to improve. You know what I'm saying? We go back and practice, you know what I'm saying? Coach got the motivational speech, things like that. But then we get another game back to back, and then another game back to back, and then we started snowballing that thing. It's like, wait a minute, you know what I'm saying? Mentally, that can have some people kind of checked out, man. And we know, there's kind of shift in coaching with them right now. I know their head coach just had a baby, so congratulations to her. But at the same time, man, they've got to find a way to kind of close these games out. But at this point, I think it's mental at this point, and it is 1 to 2 possessions, man. Even going back to that Vanderbilt game, it was a simple box out. You know what I'm saying? You miss a box out, the girl tips it in to win the game. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I think, late game mental mistakes, man, from a young team.
Right. And if they can stay in it mentally, I think we was talking to Stat, we was texting, and I was like, they just need that one win. It's like if you playing all these good teams and you losing, you got these 4 losses and they all by average of 2 points. If you get that one win, it might start snowballing. Now, hey, South Carolina's no easy feat, but what a game to get that one win. You know what I'm saying? Because that'll give you your confidence to be sky high. But because when they winning, now they 3 conference wins, they blowing teams out. You know what I'm saying? The 3 conference games they won in the SEC, they winning by almost 20 points a game. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you blowing people out, but then when you lose, you losing these close ones. So you gotta find, like you said, mentality wise, you gotta find a way to get that box out at the end against Vanderbilt. You gotta find a way to slow down Booker against Texas, sometimes at the end of the game. You know what I mean? On the converse side, man, South Carolina blowing teams out in the SEC. Outside of LSU, I think they're averaging like a 20-point victory, if not more. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
rough
right.
out here, man.
It definitely is, man. It definitely is. I think this is the first test for South Carolina from a depth perspective, though. You know what I'm saying? We kind of touched on it last time. There's not a lot of teams that have a lot of depth where they go six ladies deep or 7 ladies deep, but Tennessee can go 8, 9. You know what I'm saying? 8, 9 deep and keep fresh bodies at you the whole time. So having that depth on Tennessee and also playing at home, I think we can see a good one, man.
Right, and we talked about it off camera a little bit. Last year, Tennessee and South Carolina played 3 times, and each time Tennessee got closer and closer and closer to a victory. Losing by 8. I mean, losing by 11 the first time, then 8 the second time, then 1 in the SEC Women's Tournament. I mean, Tennessee, you know what I'm saying? When you play a team, that's why conference play in football and basketball is so hard because you play teams over and over and over. You start learning tendencies and stuff like that. And like you said, from a depth perspective, Tennessee should have fresh legs the whole game, so that shouldn't be a problem. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, you made me think about something just now. Like even going back to last year, we talked about the Tennessee games. Even though they had 3 losses that were close, but at the end of the game, they had a go-to person. You know what I'm saying? We knew where Kia Jackson was going to get that ball at the end of the game, and she was going to be able to, make some contact, drive to the basket or something like that. And after watching Tennessee, maybe they just don't have that go-to person. Obviously, we know Talia Cooper is the leading scorer, and she can get a bucket. But the thing about it, there's like 2 or 3 girls that can get a bucket at any point in time. But late in the game, those last 2 minutes, like who gets the rock. You know what I'm saying? Who settles that
Mm.
team down and try to get them, to that victory. And I think maybe that's what they're missing right there.
So let's talk about how they can try to get this victory over the South Carolina Gamecocks. So for me, the Lady Vols got 5 girls that are scoring double digits. So you right. I agree that I don't know if they got that, girl to say, hey, give her the ball, get out the way, let's go get a bucket. But they got 5 girls that can get buckets because they all averaging double digits. I think they're gonna have to that full court press that you mentioned earlier, it's gonna have to reap some benefits. You know what I'm saying? We got to see some fruits of their labor come out of that, because if they're gonna full court press and South Carolina's continuously breaking it, and then they have to kind of like maybe get out of it, and then that's not the style that they want to play, that could work against them. So for me, the Vols have to be effective in their full court press defense. Not necessarily always getting a steal, but speeding the game, you know what I'm saying, causing some havoc, and maybe getting some ill-advised shots on South Carolina's part, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking all 5 of those girls, Cooper, Whitehorn, Spear, Spencer, and Spearman, they average in double digits, anywhere from 11 points a game to 17 points a game. Those girls have to come to play, and that full court defense has to show up at home in front of that home crowd in Knoxville. That's how I got the Vols having a chance to win. What about you?
I definitely agree with that part. I think it's two pieces to that puzzle. One being the turnover battle. Like I said, they got to get some turnovers out of that press. Um, I see a lot of ball handling with Raven. Hopefully when Tessa gets in as well, there's gonna be some ball handling there, and also Powell definitely starting the game as well. So if they can get a couple turnovers there, that's going to help. But I think it's going to come down to rebounding again. I know we talk about rebounding a lot with South Carolina, but with Tennessee, when you got girls on this team that nobody's averaging over 6 rebounds a game. Everybody's about 5.5, maybe 4, and that 5.5 is Talia Cooper, the guard. You know what I'm saying? So I think they're gonna have to come to that rebounding by committee. Like I said, if I'm the coach, that's all we talking about. We got to rebound by committee. We got to kind of look even at that pass game that South Carolina just played on Friday. Where offensive rebounders over after offensive rebounds. Like I said, we got to hit the boards. We got to get second chance points, and it's just got to be a rebounding by committee. Like I said, we got to see about 4 or 5 girls with 5, 6 rebounds a piece if we're gonna
Right.
keep those big girls off the board for South Carolina.
Right. Now on the flip side, how can South Carolina continue to win in the SEC and win like they've been winning if they do get the win? For me, South Carolina, we talked about the bigs against LSU, you know what I'm saying? And the bigs came to play, you know what I'm saying? Joyce Edwards did what Joyce Edwards do, Fagan did what she does. Chloe Kitts came in and did what she does. And I know everybody helped out. Raven Johnson turned up the defense. That's what I'm pointing to here. Tennessee averaging over 90 points a game. I'm gonna need the team defense for the Gamecocks, led by Raven Johnson, on the defensive end. I think that's the key to this game, is slowing Tennessee down, because while South Carolina can score 90 points, I don't think necessarily you want a 90 to 95 game. Not because that lets Tennessee be in their comfort zone. As a coach, you want to always try to take the opponent out their comfort zone. So if they got this track meet going back and forth, turnovers, free layups, transition buckets, that's how Tennessee wants to play. We watched in that LSU game on Friday, you know what I'm saying, where Raven, the block party started in the second quarter, but then Raven turned up that defensive intensity, and then the team followed her lead, and then it was just too much for LSU. I think that's how South Carolina gets the win, on Monday against the Lady Vols, is that on the defensive end.
Yeah, 100% agree, man. I know Stat not gonna like this when I say this, man, but I think this is the one team South Carolina don't want to run with. You know what I'm saying? They can run with a lot of teams in the country and even in the SEC, man. But this the Lady Vols right here, man, they put me in the mind of some street ballers, man. They want to get up and down. You know what I'm saying? They want to be 2-on-1,
Right.
3, you know what I'm saying, fast breaks, or even 3-on-3. At 3-on-3, they feel like they probably got an advantage. You know what I'm saying? And that's the type of game that they want to play. And I don't think we want to get on that type of game on the road. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
At home, maybe that's a little different, but on the road, there's got to be a dominance in the post. Fagan's got to get set up. We got to see Joyce again, like we seen in the LSU game, and we got to see Chloe kind of dominate the boys down there as well in that front court.
Yeah,
So
and they should have
front court got to be, and I
the clear advantage in the front court. Clear advantage.
easily.
So I think so too. I think early on, I would like to see just South Carolina, of course. I think South Carolina is going to handle the pressure, but even the great teams can turn it over or get sped up or make bad decisions here and there. I like to see them handle that pressure early, get some easy buckets off of transition, and then also slow Tennessee down on the defensive end to not let them get comfortable in home at home in front of that crowd. Because, like you said, it don't matter if they're exchanging buckets. That's kind of how Tennessee wants to play. You know what I'm saying? And then because they feel like eventually their style will overcome you, and you'll run out of I guess you would say fuel, even though we know South Carolina can come with it in droves. So this is going to be
Right.
an interesting matchup, but I think this is a must win for Tennessee, or at least a must compete. You know what I'm saying? Because of these close losses, you know what I'm saying? And right now, you got some good wins, but I want to say you 3-4 in conference.
Yep.
So you don't want to fall. You don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Because this affects your seeding in the SEC tournament. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly. I was just about to touch on that, man. Like they do need a win. I don't know if it comes on. I don't think it comes on Monday, but hopefully you got to look at the rest of their schedule and like we got to find ways to win. You know what I'm saying? We got to find a good seeding in this tournament. As far as the SEC tournament goes, but I do like Tennessee in the big boy tournament. If they can find some more wins and be able to get into the big boy tournament, I like them. I think they could pull some upsets off.
Right. So let's get into our prediction for this game, man. I'll let you jump in first and tell me what you think, how this game gonna play out, what you got on that scoreboard.
I think South Carolina pulls away with this one, man. Late in the fourth quarter, maybe last 3-4 minutes in the fourth quarter. So I do see maybe even going to like a 15-point game. Unfortunately here, and again to our points, like we don't want to see a track meet and score in the high 80s or even low 80s, even 90s. I'm thinking like 69, 56. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere around in there. Just right below 70 for South Carolina, and just right below 60 for Tennessee.
Okay. I got the Gamecocks winning this one too. I think if Tennessee can get the score into the 70s, then they got a shot. But I do think South Carolina's defense will come to play and basically take the Vols out of their comfort zone of being able to score. You know what I'm saying? Like even though they're losing, even in their losses, the Vols are scoring like an average of 80 points. I don't see them scoring 80 on South Carolina because of that defensive intensity that they can bring and those bigs down low. So I got South Carolina winning something like 72-60, something like that. Again, fouls having the foul at the end is probably gonna play a part, but I got them with a double digit win in Knoxville. But I wouldn't be surprised again. I said going into the LSU game, I wouldn't be surprised at what the halftime score might be. Listen, Tennessee at home, get that crowd in early. You never know what can happen with that up tempo style of play. So, but I got the Gamecocks pulling this one out as well. So hey man, that's been us, man. It's Chucking buckets, man. Listen, man, we here to preview the South Carolina Tennessee game. South Carolina's traveling to Knoxville. It's gonna be a Monday night game. Start the week off. We never know what can happen. Tennessee does need to get over that hump mentally, though. If they get this win, who knows what can happen? It could snowball. I'm like you, KB. I think they could roll some heads in the SEC tournament and in the March Madness. So what a way to start if they could get a win over the Gamecocks here on Monday at home. You know what I'm saying? So
Definitely. One other thing, man, to probably call out, man, before we jump, man, just to kind of touch on the talent that comes out of the state of South Carolina. Like, there's some
right.
underlying stories with this thing too, man, and hopefully, that doesn't get her in trouble. Her speaking of like Talia Cooper, right? We know she started out with the Gamecocks, didn't get the playing time that she probably thought she maybe deserved, or maybe the system issue, whatever it might be. But I'm saying it's the first time her kind of going up against kind of that former team, and we kind of seen that with
Mm,
Sanaa Rivers at NC State, and that could be good or bad. You know what I'm saying? Maybe good
right.
thing that she comes out with a lot of energy, but hopefully it's not trying to prove something that's not there. You know what I'm saying? And trying to take over the game and kind of play outside of her game. So hopefully we see some composure on that side too. But definitely want to call out, what I'm saying, just the straight ballers that come out of the state of South Carolina with her definitely being a baller. Obviously we got Malaysia Fulwiley, we got Joyce Edwards. What I'm saying, the list goes on and on. But this a good game, man, and I like the talent, man, that we're gonna see on the floor on Monday.
Right. I think you're right. I think the energy that she has to play against her former team, former coach could help her out. Just want to make sure you're not pressing too much, hunting your shot too much, trying to do too much to prove, hey, I belong, even though she probably already knows that. It's easy to do, especially if you're still friends with some of them, girls. You're like, yeah, we got you all on Monday. It's that time to rock up. You know how it is when you playing your homeboys, you're playing your homegirls on the court. So hopefully she can keep the energy at a good energy and keep it kind of in check so it doesn't get out of hand. But yeah, you're right. State of South Carolina producing them women ballers like nobody's business, man. So it's gonna be a good one, man. So we'll be again. Don't forget to check out the channel, Fat Addict Sports Network. We talk all things SEC sports. And then, of course, Chuckin Buckets being a part of Fat Addict Sports Network is always Gamecock Lady Basketball, man. For my guy KB, I'm Coach I. We out.